In Miami, Arizona, teachers realized students weren't making connections between their classes. School was just a series of disjointed class periods with no relation to one another, and with student engagement at an all-time low, they decided to make some changes.
Last year I had the experience of having students I had in history where we had talked about what life was like in the early 1800s, and also had in a separate class where we were reading Jane Austen, and they didn't put together the fact that the Jane Austen story was occurring in the early 1800s.
I am Lisa Wyatt. I am a design strategist on the Design Initiatives team in the Office of Scholarship and Innovation. I joined the team in June 2018, and the Design Initiatives team had been working with Glen, Lineberry, the principal at Miami Senior High, and the teachers to support their curriculum redesign. Glen Lineberry, the principal, saw that students in 7th and 8th grade were not very engaged in their learning.
And 7th and 8th grade is where we lose kids. It's where they lose the sort of joy of coming to school. It begins to become a grind. It's when girls typically start to drop off of math and science.
And we know that in high school, and particularly in junior high, with that disengagement, he thought that part of what was happening was that there was a disconnect between what they were learning in their classes, so they couldn't see the ways that any of those concepts linked together.
Using social studies as a base, teachers redesigned their curriculum around periods of history.
So all teachers, whether it's math, social studies, science, English, so English language arts, all the core content areas, teach units and activities that relate to that period of time. First quarter was World War I, second quarter was the Great Depression, third quarter was World War II, and then the last quarter was about the effects of innovation.
In a school quarter focusing on the Great Depression, each teacher would base what they were teaching around that period in history.
In social studies, they were learning about Hoovervilles and the way that people had to try to build shelter for themselves. And in science, they were making soap and learning about the chemical reaction that creates soap. And they used actual lye, and they went through the process of all the safety measures for how we do this. So for students who are moving from class to class, each experience means a deeper learning into that area. And so it not only builds the broader understanding of Great Depression or World War I, but it actually strengthens that subject matter learning also, because it builds one layer upon the next.
And teachers began to see big changes, both for students and themselves.
We have heard from teachers again and again that it has reignited their love of learning themselves. And I think what's really exciting is that when students see and hear teachers who are enthusiastic about their subject and the topic, that is contagious.
It's really re-energized me as a teacher, and it's challenging. It's easier to do it the old way. And we like easy, path of least resistance, but I can really see the difference it's making. I see the connections. I see them thinking on a deeper level. I think we're building empathy in our kids. It's just, I don't think I would ever now want to go back to teaching the way I did.
The fact that we are concentrating on one subject, and it's kind of like a pie, and all of us are doing a chunk of that pie. And the fact that students are being able to relate from one subject to the next, to the next, to the next, and being able to see the full picture of the subject that we're working on.
And I'm anxious to see, we say we might take a hit on test scores, but I'm anxious to see, because I actually don't know that we will. I think the kids might be better equipped to take the test, because they're becoming thinkers and not just doers.
We're hoping to have a broader outlook, and our kids really are isolated here, pretty much. There are kids who have never been out of the state, a lot of kids that have barely been to the valley and back, and a huge part of them have never been on an airplane. So the more we can give them, the better opportunity. It's more pathways to success. When I first got a lot of them this year, as usual, well, we will work at Walmart. Maybe we can work at the mines. And now it's like, maybe we can be a physicist, or, yeah,